The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Anti-Insurgency Task Force, NTF-ELCAC, held its first executive committee meeting under the new administration. Let's get the details from Mon Gualvez, who's reporting to us over the phone. Hi, Mon. How did the meeting go?
Sean, during the meeting, the NTF-ELCAC says it has no plans to revive peace talks with the founding chairman of the Communist Party of the Philippines, Joma Sison. In the first executive meeting spearheaded by National Security Advisor Secretary Clarita Carlos, the task force clarified that instead of a national approach, they will go for localized peace talks. As Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity Secretary Carlito Galvez puts it, looking at the history of a previous peace talks, a national approach to the issue did not yield anything. The NTF-ELCAC also took pride in lowering of parameters in strength, firearms, and affected barangays by the CPP-NPA-NDF aggression. Meanwhile, the current administration of the task force insisted that they are not tolerating any form of red tagging. Defense Officer in Charge Jose Faustino Jr. said it is not part of their policy and that red tagging comes from another group. The NTF-ELCAC is set to recommend giving amnesty to prevent resurgence of communist terrorist groups. Carlos also clarifies that in the end, it's up to the President Bongbong Marcos to decide if he will accept and adopt their proposals or not. Sean?
Thank you so much for those updates. Mon Gualvez reporting to us over the phone from Quezon City. Thank you, Mon. And the Labor Department has allayed fears on the government's plan to optimize efficiencies in its offices. The Budget Department earlier announced a plan to streamline the bureaucracy through right-sizing. Government workers are up in arms, saying the ratio of public service workers to the population is among the lowest in the world. State employees are of the opinion that this runs contrary to claims that local bureaucracy is bloated. However, Labor Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma clarified that right-sizing doesn't mean layoffs and staff reductions.
Ang sinasabi sa right sizing, lalo na sa akin, nanggaling ako sa pribadong sektor din, tinitignan yung proseso ng streamlining of procedures. Meron din pagkakataon na ang ilang departamento, mas sigit na nangangailangan ng karagdagang tao dahil ang serbisyo nila, for example, social services.
Laguesma also said that the transition of some DOLE functions to the new Department of Migrant Workers is now underway. He added that they are working on a smooth transition that will not sacrifice services provided to OFWs and their families.
Meron kaming napagkasundoan na isang joint management committee, no? Merong representante ang ating pong BMW at saka yung ating pong DOLE para tignan at subaybayan na sana ay magtuloy-tuloy yung maayos, mabilisan na paglilipat ng mga tanggapan at nang sa ganun naman hindi masakripisyo yung serbisyo sa ating pong mga OFWs at kanilang pamilya.
We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The LTFRB recommends opening 30% of closed bus routes in Metro Manila ahead of the resumption of face-to-face classes next month. This covers routes around the University Belt area in Quezon City and those that don't pass through EDSA. LTFRB Chair Cheloy Garafil said heavy traffic is expected, especially around the 60,000 schools nationwide once classes begin. The Transportation Department reminded the public that free rides on the EDSA busway are ongoing until August. Students can also ride for free on the LRT Line 2.
Kasi it's part of a bigger study yung route rationalization for the Greater Manila area. So since we are for the opening of the classes, yung ating program, ito muna yung ating urgent consideration.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The United States House of Representatives has agreed to stop assisting the Philippine National Police in equipment and training. The amendment to the U.S. National Defense Authorization Act for 2023 states that funding for the PNP will be stopped until the Philippines is deemed to have met basic human rights standards. P3PWD Representative Rowena Guanzon has formally responded to a petition against her substitution as nominee of the party list. According to Guanzon, the TRO issued by the Supreme Court is moot and academic since it came out after her proclamation. The petition was filed by National Youth Commission Undersecretary Ronald Cardema. And Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has submitted his resignation letter after fleeing to Singapore on a flight from the Maldives. Celebrations broke out in the streets after the Sri Lankan president stepped down, defying a citywide curfew imposed by the government. Rajapaksa was forced out of office as protests over an economic crisis heated up. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.